I used to spend multiple hours per week on client proposals. Now AI does probably 80% of the work in minutes. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm using AI daily to run my agency more efficiently. And I talk about how I used a 3-hour flight to basically have a complete business transformation. So I interview a lot of agency owners, and a lot of them are drowning in repetitive tasks. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 AI implementations that save me probably 20 hours a week. So the first thing I did is I built a custom GPT, which we've called a Business Consultant GPT for us. And what the problem was basically I've got 2 agencies, and I wanted to bring in a business consultant to kind of just give more of a holistic approach to what we're doing wrong and what direction we can go to grow. And yeah, I listened to a podcast where they talked about, it was a guy who had a $180 million a year SaaS company, and how he was creating a custom GPT to be a business consultant. So the goal was to train it up to eventually be a business consultant for both agencies, but also to be able to share it with the team. So if the team come to me with ideas or lead magnets or anything that any bottleneck that they're going through, that they could basically give it to this GPT, and it would kind of give them the push in the right direction, or even come up with the answer. So that was the goal. And already we've implemented this, and the team have been using it a lot. I've been using it a lot. And it doesn't always give you the correct answers you want, but it will give you enough answers to bring you in the right direction and maybe highlight something that you didn't even think about. So for instance, my marketing specialist came with a lead magnet idea recently. So we have a strategy call once a week, every week, where we kind of brainstorm ideas for this. And she used the business consultant GPT to be able to kind of flesh out the lead magnet, not from a content point of view, but from our clients' pain points point of view, because it knows everything, which I'll get to in a minute. So the way that I built this is I was actually on a flight I was flying from Faro, Portugal to Manchester at 3 hours in the air. So I basically went and configured a custom GPT. And the way that I built it is I basically told it, I want to create a business consultant GPT. I have a 3-hour flight where I can dedicate answering all questions in detail. Ask me every single question you can, so you can understand my business in its entirety from every single angle. So first of all, it kind of just gave me generic questions you'd expect. So what does the business do, etc. And of course, I answered them within full detail. But what I also wanted to do on this flight was I wanted to go as deep as I could on this. So I basically asked it to go even deeper on the questions. So I said, cut the cookie cutter BS questions to in-depth, thought-provoking questions so you'll understand my business completely. And then it gave a complete different list of questions, which I'll put up on the screen now. So within that, it goes over business foundation, goals, vision, and long-term strategy. Questions like, if you could only accomplish one major business goal in the next year, what would it be and why? What assumptions about your market or industry might be limiting your growth? So we went into full detail: customer acquisition and retention, financial strategy and revenue growth. And on top of this, what I did is we use AI. We use Firefly's AI, which is basically an AI note taker that joins every one of our calls. And basically, I uploaded the last 30 client discovery calls that we've had, and put it into the GPT to train it on the way that we talk to clients, the questions that normally come up, the solutions that we give on these calls. So I uploaded 30 of our last client discovery calls transcripts from Fireflies. The next thing that I did as well is I put in all our client slide decks, our team, what the team do on a daily basis, our goals, our trajectory, our market, as much detail as I could to train this GPT to know everything that it possibly could about the business. And as well as that, what we did is, so ChatGPT is basically built to give you answers straight away. So if you ask for level 3 responses, it'll give you more detailed answers. And another trick that I've learned pretty recently with ChatGPT is if you just ask it to process longer, it will give you a way better answer. That's how we built a Business Consultant GPT. And again, it's helped us massively, myself included, and the team. So basically the next thing that we wanted to do is we wanted to figure out how we could reduce our time from our client discovery call to our client sign. So basically what we did is we get Fireflies to come on every single client discovery call we have. Fireflies is an AI note taker. So it transcribes the whole call and then summarizes it, gives you action points after the call. So obviously in that discovery call, we go over, client pain points, past bad experiences, and myself and the team, we give solutions on how we can fix them. So once that call is done, we take that transcript and we upload it into Gamma. So Gamma AI is a tool that you can use for presentations, slide decks, etc. But you basically put a prompt in and it'll build it for you. If you haven't used Gamma, you need to use it we use it for lead magnets. We use it to brainstorm ideas and just build it into like a slide deck so we can like present it to the team. But honestly, what would have taken a long time a few years ago to build a presentation or a slide deck can now literally take, it takes 10 seconds to write the proper prompt for it, and then you can put in your branding, etc. So basically you put in the prompt and it'll build it for you. It's absolutely fantastic. We then upload the transcript from that client discovery call, and the team have already built our branding template for this. So they've already put the time into that bit. But basically, once you put in the transcript, it then creates a personalized discovery deck that we can then send to the client. And again, this is basically just going above and beyond as much as we can and going that extra mile. So instead of sending them over a generic slide deck, which we do have, and we've put a lot of effort and it's a great slide deck, this just basically covers every single pain point that they talked about it. And obviously I gave the solution in the call. It basically makes a personalized slide deck for that. And it's absolutely fantastic. And we're still in the early stages of actually testing this out. But since we've used it, we've already seen a reduction in time from that discovery call to when the client is signed. The next thing that I use AI for quite a lot, and I'm trying to push the team to use this a lot as well, is basically as a sales performance coach. So basically what I do is, again, we use Fireflies in every one of our sales calls. I upload the transcript to the custom GPT on this. And again, it's got the whole history of basically the last 30 discovery calls that I've done. So and it understands our pitch, it understands who our ICP are. But basically every single time I have a client discovery call, for instance, yesterday we had 2, I've taken both of those transcripts and I'll upload it and basically ask it, I'll give it different prompts, but I'll basically ask it, how could I have improved on this client discovery call? And what could have I done better? And obviously the deeper you go on prompts, the more it's going to give you better answers. But I find this absolutely fascinating because it will literally give you, Josh, in a previous call, you mentioned these clients that are in the similar niche as these guys. You didn't mention it on this. Try and go on the next call, bring that in a bit more. Or it'll just, there's so many examples that I could give, but it basically trains you to be better on your discovery calls. And again, I love constructive criticism. And I feel like when I bring the team on, or when I bring, even if it's somebody that I know that could be a client, and I ask them, could you give me any feedback on that? Everybody's always just too nice. So I feel like when you can ask ChatGPT to be like absolutely ruthless, how could this be better? It's gonna force you to improve on your calls. Next thing I use AI for is skill learning. I feel like this is probably the hack of the decade. So let's say, for example, last week, basically what I did is I wanted to learn how to improve my short form video. So we're doing a lot of long form on the YouTube, but obviously we need short form to be that storefront so people can click on that and see the rest of the profile. So what I did is I was like, look, this is the prompt I gave. I'm dedicating my lunch break to improving my skills in short form video. I need you to scour the web to comprehensively research this topic and distill it down to the top 20% of information that I'll need to understand it. So basically what this does is it gives you the top 20% so you can focus on that information, which gives probably around 80% of the results. I'm sure you've heard of the 80-20 rule. or the 20/80 rule in this case. But yeah, what I find is this is an absolute hack. Like, even I've used this if I'm, at the sauna chatting with people and they bring up a topic that I'm not that well rehearsed in and I want to do a bit more research on it. I'll literally go home and just use this exact prompt. And it'll just give you I don't want to say the surface level information because I don't think that's fair. It'll give you the information, enough information that you'll be able to talk about this in conversation, or you'll be able to ask the right questions the next time you're in that scenario. So yeah, I feel like this is a massive hack. Next big thing that we use and my team use is PodSqueeze. So obviously we do a lot of long form videos, we do a lot of podcasts, the team do a lot of webinars. Basically what you can do is you can upload that straight into PodSqueeze, and PodSqueeze will take that and put it into a blog form. But it doesn't just stop there. With, a lot of tools out there will take your video and put it into a blog. What this also does is it'll give you timestamps. So if you're posting it on YouTube, it'll give you the timestamps of where everything is. It'll give you notable quotes. So in case your social team want to take a few quotes from maybe something that you said in a webinar and turn it into a visual asset, it'll give you the best prompts for that. It'll give links and mentions, and it can be put in and changed into a newsletter, which again is extremely handy, especially for my team. And as well as that, it'll give you actual ideation for content ideas across your own socials. So again, what used to probably take hours and hours to do, a lot of brainstorming, a lot of going back and forth with your content team, PodSqueeze will literally do that within, an hour or two, and it'll give you just all of this information that then you can execute on. And that wraps up everything that I'm using for AI right now. I'm using it on a lot more different tools, but in terms of, I think these are the big move the needle forwards that I'm using it for. And again, what used to, 3, 4, 5 years ago, used to cost tens of thousands of dollars to bring in a high-level business consultant, and you can replace it with a custom GPT or even a sales coach. I know people that spent $1,000 an hour to get a sales coach to come in and teach them. And again, you've just got it on the tips of your fingertips right now, which is absolutely insane. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can about AI, as much as I can to take away repetitive tasks and move my business forward. But again, I am a complete beginner when it comes to this. So if there's anything that you're using AI for, or anything that you think that could be improved on what I've said today, please leave it in the comments. And I really, really look forward to having a look at them and building on that. And again, I think AI agents is a big thing that we're looking into at the minute. Yeah, we're just in a crazy time. So if you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like, subscribe it. And please, if you've got anything that you want to leave below, comment it and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.